Thanks for staying with us. CG speaks on Customs Day in Abuja. Also on Customs report, Semi-Command intercept fake dollars at the border. Plus more reports on seizure of contraband by Tinkan Customs Command in Lagos. Plus more reports. I am Egeseme Etinye. Stay tuned. The World Customs Organization, in collaboration with the Customs Service, said that the service will continue to grow in spite of the economic issues facing the world. In his opening address, the Secretary General of WCO said that the 14 countries are participating fully with the body.
United Nations Counterterrorism Office, Disarmament Office, and Humanitarian Aid Office, they all joined because they understood that the customs plays a key role. So it is indispensable to involve customs at the security. And in this way, we will continue our advocacy, governments, other government agencies, but the international community, and in the end, getting necessary resources for customs to discharge new responsibility of contribution to security.
The Contract General Customs call for an analysis of the role of customs in national security policies.
Customs everywhere must now realize that they are in danger because of this type of confrontation. So customs must be fully equipped to be able to defend themselves and defend the equipment they use in the face of adversities that we're facing. So this is the genesis of this conference. This is the first of its kind, and I believe that, what the Secretary General said, we're building an action plan, and very soon, once that is approved by the Council, it will now become a roadmap for all customs to follow and develop their own internal skill and capacity to be able to manage their borders effectively.
The country's Vice President pointed out that fragile borders will continue except the Nigerian Customs Service continue to protect the borders all over the country. So that with this, it may also rob the states of crucial income that will affect various nations in the world. It speaks more on the number of issues as it affects Nigeria and borders in West Africa.
The number of fragile borders and the convergence of fiscal and security issues at such borders, that governments must now actively redefine the role of customs services to be properly integrated into the security architecture. The days of the customs service dedicated only to fiscal matters at the borders are long gone, and I think that we all have to wake up in governments to recognize this fact. Second, it is now imperative that national governments, where there are fragile borders or in post-conflict situations, must invest in and invest intentionally in infrastructure and capacity building for their customs services.
The Oyo and Osun Customs Command has held a seminar on WCO in Ibadan. The controller has this to say.
Invocation of the 2023 International Customs Day celebration. As it is the case each year, the customs community is coming together on this 26th January to celebrate International Customs Day. This year is even more special because we are also celebrating the 78th anniversary of WCO, a unique organization dedicated to international cooperation and the sharing of knowledge. Each year, International Customs Day provides an opportunity for the WCO Secretariat to invite the organization's members to focus on a theme it considers relevant to the customs community and its partners. In 2023, under the slogan, Nurturing the Next Generation, promoting a culture of knowledge sharing and professional pride in customs, the Secretariat is inviting members to look at how they support newly recruited officers, facilitate sharing of knowledge, and heighten a sense of pride in being part of this institution and of the global customs community. This is about placing human capital, and especially the new generation, at the heart of transformation of customs, an approach that WCO has been advocating for a number of years. Young custom officers often have particular strengths where they need to acquire specific and often tacit knowledge and know-how. This approach to learning was rooted in the culture of the administration, holding throughout the officer's career. It requires not only dynamic intergenerational relationships, but also an outward-looking attitude characterized by exchanges with the actors engaged in the movement of goods and passengers, as well as with service providers and with academia.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The semi-customs border has smashed a syndicate that specialized in smuggling fake American dollars outside the country. The customs accepted 6 million US fake dollars, arrested the owner of the dollar, including 6 international passports from foreigners.
It's 6 million US dollars, like I read out, equivalent of about 2.7 billion naira at the exchange rate of 460.52 naira. But they are fake. Yes, we have collaboration with other agencies that deal with this. By the time I submit my full report to headquarters, it's most likely this currency will be handed over to EFCC or the National Financial Intelligence Unit, whichever one the management recommends. It's expected that they are going to carry out further investigation. This is not just the only ones. You can see the parts, we did not open most of them. Some of the parts are still the way it is. These are the ones that we've already opened, as you can see. Now, the question is, what is the intention of those who are doing this?
It speaks more on a number of issues at the border, as it was accompanied by various heads of agencies at the border post.
Also arrested, along with the 2 people, is bearing Niger Republic. This one is Benin Republic. This is again Benin Republic. Another Benin Republic, another Benin Republic, and this is Togolese, supposedly international passport. The immigration will tell us if they are genuine or fake. We also have another Togolese and another Togolese. And also, Senegal. We have 2 belonging to Senegal. Another unique thing about this is that the owners of this passport, some of them, the same face, different names, different national passports. So we also suspect that it is a syndicate that is involved in cross-border criminality. They also have various driving licenses belonging to these countries, but bearing different names. For instance, we have this one bearing a different name, and is said to belong to Niger Republic. The same name is also belonging to Benin Republic on the same photograph, a different name, and a different driving license for another republic. We also have them here. Gentlemen of the press, you all know that election is around the corner. We also know what Nigeria is going through in some parts of the country, for which the military is doing their best to curtail. Now, with this development around here, the currency, the passports, the different names on the different passports with the same photographs, the driving license of various nationalities, the various countries, bearing the same photograph of the same person with different names, is a dangerous trend.
The Tinkan Customs Command has continued to wage war against smuggling of items in and outside the port. In 2022, the command carried take 2. In 2022, the command came second in revenue generation in the country. The customs controller speaks more on the number of issues.
The increase in DPV, that is the duty paid value rate, could be associated with increased surveillance and intensified anti-smuggling drive, high value of seized items, and the naira-dollar depreciation, which leads to high exchange rate on imported items. These prohibited items were seized and forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria in line with the provisions of Section 46 and 161 of the Custom and Excise Management Act, Cap 45, LFN 2004 as altered. An absolute prohibition list of the Common External Tariff 2022 to 2026. The command pertinently acknowledges the prominent roles played by the Customs Intelligence Unit, the Valuation Unit, the Federal Operation Unit, the CGC Strike Workforce, as well as the Custom Police, and also interventions from sister regulatory agencies like the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NAFDAC, DSS, SON, the Nigerian Police, and others in ensuring these seizures and detentions were made. A total of 60 suspects were detained in 2022 and were granted administrative bail, while the command has 8 cases pending in court. Trade facilitation and engagements. The command intentionally and strategically created more conducive, friendly, and calm atmosphere for the trading public in the year under review. There were continuous segmented stakeholder engagements, meetings to address specific issues as they arose, as well as robust collaboration with relevant stakeholders and regulatory agencies of government. The Dispute Resolution Committee, which is a structure put in place by the command for prompt resolution of trade disputes, led to reduction in average clearance time of such issue-laden imports. This was in line with the provisions of import duty mechanism as outlined in paragraph H, subparagraph 8 of the import guidelines of the Federal Ministry of Finance, procedure and documentation requirements, which allows an importer to take delivery of his goods in the case of persistent dispute after securing a bank bond covering the total duties and taxes payable on the item being disputed.
The Assistant Controller of Customs in charge of excise in Abuja and the one-time Controller of Customs in KLT has this to say on revenue generation of the command in 2022.
The year 2022 has proven to be a challenging year for the Nigerian economy, with the attendant adverse effects for revenue collection by the service generally and the command in particular. The year witnessed a sharp decline in the value of the national currency against other international currencies. Other negative effects
The Acting Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, in charge of PTLM, who was recently the controller of PTLM in Lagos, speaks more on revenue generation in the port.
Which is aimed primarily to update you about our activities for the year 2022. And these include revenue generation and collection, export trades, anti-smuggling activities, and above all, trade facilitation. Here we have decided to make a projection and project it on the world. It's not the traditional reading the press briefing, but equally, you can see from the screen, the aim is to update you about our activities for the year 2022. Last year had a significant impact on Ports and Terminal Multi-Service Limited for several reasons. The nature of the operation of these model ports makes us a deal for on a vehicular cargo that is known as roll and roll, and to some extent containerized vehicle. That is to say, 70% of our activities are vehicles. And we are impacted by trade policies, internal factors, external factors. To be candid, the external factors that affected importation of vehicular or vehicles was so high because of the pandemic. The pandemic affected most of the manufacturers of vehicles abroad. So most people abroad tend to keep the fairly used vehicles to themselves, and the companies could not manufacture so many vehicles as against the way it used to be. You will see somebody going to a company after using 6 months and is good enough again to go to the company and get another vehicle and send out that one and sell it off. But the pandemic shocked the world. The car manufacturers did not produce. In the year 2022, the command generated a total revenue of 229,473,912,976 naira 97 kobo only. This represents about 96% of the revenue target of 238,224,920,038 naira 80 kobo. Set for 2022 comparatively, you can see from the slides carefully. You will now see the revenue collection for those of you who can see the screen.
I said various flashpoints at different times, about 2,135 wraps, totaling or weighing 1,163 kilograms. It's why we give zero tolerance to all this, because it is important we note that this is clearly and linked to crime. Someone taking this now does not value life again. They can react and overreact over trivial issues. And as the election is fast approaching, we need to up our game, and that is what we are doing, to ensure that we mop up all this out of circulation. Do is we abandon and run. And in some instances, the mode of smuggling now is taking a different dimension. You see, they will heap this thing right inside the bush. They may be apparently looking for the right time to move in those things. Then you see, while on patrol, officers will just sight them. And obviously, you know, even if they sight them from afar, they will not wait. All this they are being concealed. And some are concealed, some are in the bush. Those ones in the bush, obviously, you know they came in from a neighboring country. It could be Benin, it could be Ghana.
The former Deputy Controller General of the Customs Service Charge of Excise in Abuja has officially bowed out of the service. At the ceremony, 7 officers and retired officers and well-wishers were present at the occasion. She thanked the President and Controller General of Customs for allowing her to serve the country. She speaks more on her experience while serving at the Customs Service.
I feel elated. I feel out of this world. And it can only be God that brought me this far. It can only be God. I give God all the glory, and I thank the Controller General of Customs for finding me worthy to serve in this capacity. Controller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, retired CFR, but not tired. You have to be diligent. You have to adhere strictly to the procedures. If you adhere to the procedures, you will never go wrong. You will deliver timely. You will deliver timely your job, and there will be ease of doing business. It's as simple as that.
I feel good. This is a day of joy for retired DCG KC Ekekeze. And we are happy. We congratulate her for doing a good work and retiring good.
Great. I thank God for everything. I feel so honored myself that my little sister can get this far. I want every young Nigerian to see that they can follow her path of humility and hard work and honesty and make it. We don't all have to run away to America or Dubai. We can make it here too.
Oh, I feel great. The CGC asked me to represent him today at this occasion. So I'm actually here in 2 capacities to represent the CGC of Nigerian Customs Service and also represent my zone as zonal. I call her Ine. I want to say she should keep on being the person she has always been. Keep on doing good, and the sky is the limit.
Just before the end of this week's edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where seizures were made by some various commands in the country. For me, Igeseme Etinye, thanks for watching.